kneel on one knee, my face towards the sky. To you I will confess. Can you hear me? When I play.
There. We are added to the stage. Welcome to the Tony Gomez Show. We're coming at you live tonight from my studio. And tonight on the podcast, we have the one and only Josh Bernal, singer, drummer, bass player, guitarist from Throat Locust, from Urth Realm, especially founding member and the man behind Wrath Upon the Skies. And he's got some other projects we'll be talking about tonight. Josh, what's happening tonight, brother?
Oh, you know. Just Josh being Josh.
Hey, man. Thanks for making some time, dude. I know you've been having a busy schedule between working a couple of jobs and then doing 3 bands. Holy smoke, man.
Yeah. It's a busy life we got over here. If I'm not doing something, then someone call for help.
Hey, we go way back, man. Holy smoke. Since I remember going to your pad back in the day, even when we still had Killamore going on, and you were just sharing some ideas of your own solo work. And since then, man, we've always, been best of friends. And as we started jamming together, man, we're brothers for life now. And we did Killamore, we did Headbangers Pit. Am I missing anything? Do we do something in between? Do we do like Deviled?
Yeah, Deviled.
Right.
Deviled. That's it as far as collaborations and stuff, other than just
sharing the stage together, right?
Being basically at every Killamore show since like 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I was not working, if I was not working, I was there.
Hell yes.
I was there.
Or any other shows, especially, me and you would always try and keep up with what's going on, and the concerts were always our thing.
Yeah,
that's what we live for. That's what we love to perform at. That's what we it drives us, man. It's in our blood.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Being on the stage is like nothing else, man. You're gonna be on stage tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Yes, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to some of those details, man. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and get started with I've got quite a few questions, so
cool.
Let's start banging them out and let's have some fun with it. All right. So getting things started today, was there a particular band or maybe a musician that inspired you to start playing guitar?
Just music in general. It was Kiss.
Kiss.
Just in general. I remember listening to them for the first time I couldn't tell you the year, but I do remember it was.
What was a jam?
It was Let's Put the X in Sex.
Oh, yeah.
Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits.
Yeah. Of all jams.
Yeah. Of all things. Yeah. That was a wee lad.
Yeah.
And that was the first one that I can remember. And then I remember being just kind of mesmerized by them, because at first I didn't even know about the makeup. Didn't know about the makeup at all. I remember showing up from baseball practice one day, and I walked through the door and I see this little interview thingamajiggy happening on the television. It's kind of like, okay, what's this?
On the MTV?
Yeah. And then it ended up being MTV Unplugged. It was, the show had already happened, but they released it on VHS. Kids.
Yeah,
they released it on
They may remember that.
They just might. But yeah, VHS. I walked into that on the TV. They were walking out and they had all the Kiss memorabilia from throughout the years, and then went straight into Coming Home. And from there on, I watched the whole thing, and I was just they're my all-time favorite band to this day.
Oh shit, did you catch them when they did that show over here at the American Bank Center?
I was right in front of Paul Stanley, third row.
Oh shit,
third row.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
that was an awesome show.
It was fantastic.
I love it, and I love shows, and that's one thing that's always kept me a big Kiss fan. Their jams they're not a hard band, but they're a hard rocking band. and they bring it to the stage, and the production is one that you can't top. And and they'll bring it. It's like, you know what? Hey, you think you got a better show?
Mm-hmm.
We'll bring it. And you know what? I can't take shit away from like bands like Slipknot, who have incredible fucking stage productions.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
who started the game? They set the bar, man.
Yeah, I mean, setting the bar as far as giant productions like that. I mean, I'm sure there was, there might have been other bands that were doing, big stadiums and all that kind of stuff, before them, absolutely. But with the kind of show that they were bringing, and all the way up until like last year or whatever, I mean, it's always been over the top. And yeah, man, I think I've seen them like 4 or 5 times, maybe.
4 or 5 times, yeah. I
Yeah.
caught him maybe about 3 or 4 times. I seen him on Dynasty. That's when I saw him in
Okay.
'79. That's when I was hooked.
Oof.
And that's when I wanted to be just like
Yes.
Gene Simmons. And that's why I was painting my face and Integrity for 10 years and Killamore for a good handful. And seeing Gene Simmons up there on stage in San Antonio and Dynasty tour, blood splattering out of his mouth, shooting the fire. Man, I was like, dude, I want to be that motherfucker right there.
Yes.
And I didn't have any talent at that. I never even touched an instrument at that moment, so I don't know how I was going to get from A to Z. But and even as I was listening to music, hanging out at my aunt's house, at my grandma's house, but in my aunt's room, going through her records, listening to Judas Priest and Styx and ELO and stuff, and getting into rock. Like especially like Buddy Holly was like my first introduction to kind of like traditional rock and writing formulas in that kind of nature. And still love Buddy Holly, still love the oldies, shit like that. But it was just being able to kick back and get into my aunt's collection and really dive deep into, when she busted out Love Gun was just, moments I'll never forget, dude. And they still stick with me now. And when I went to go see him on the bus on the '79 tour, man, there was people doing coke. There was people smoking. There was fucking music fucking blaring. It was a fucking party on wheels, the C11 party bus.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this is where it's at, man. This is too cool. And yeah, we just had a great time and came back. And ever since then, it was like I was tattooed. Like I was branded more like it's like fucking rock, metal. And till that day, I definitely know where you're coming, man. And, Kiss is still one of my fucking favorite bands. And Gene Simmons is being the mogul that he is inspiring. He's the merchandising, the family jewels, his show and all that good shit. Much props to Gene. I love Gene.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I don't think I gravitated to anyone in particular. I kind of took a little bit from everybody, really. Like it was never like, hey, there's Ace Frehley there, I want to be just like that, or even with later members, Bruce Kulick and all of them, even all the way up to Tommy Thayer and stuff. Like it's just always I've always seen what each member is doing and taken a little bit from every single one of them, including like, other bands that I'm influenced by and stuff like that. But I mean, with Kiss, it's always just a little bit of here and a little bit of there. And like, what can I do? What can I do to make my show or myself better?
Yes. And you can get it from watching Kiss. You can definitely learn the A to Z to be a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
Just check them out.
Yeah.
So Kiss was a band that made it all start for you. And since then, how long you been playing drums and bass?
Drums and bass. That's see, that's an interesting question in the sense of, even to this day, I will never, ever, ever tell anyone that I'm a drummer. Ever. Ever.
Why?
I don't feel like I am, and I've always had that mindset with all sorts of things in my life. Like, down at one of the places that I work, there was a moment where I was like, behind the bar, serving up drinks and stuff like that. And I trained with and learned with a bunch of people that are like running circles around me behind the bar, running at absolute circles. But everything that I've had to do was always just kind of thrown to the wolves. Like, hey, this is what you're doing today. And okay,
Yeah.
So I just kind of jumped into it. And then even 1, 2, 3, 4, even up to right now, like never ever, like even if I can keep up with you, I'm not gonna call myself a bartender. Like it's like no, you guys, y'all are the bartenders. I'm in your space. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
I get it.
It's almost the same thing with drums. I'm self-taught. I kind of taught myself out of necessity. It was more so right after the moments that you mentioned earlier, like coming by and checking out some of the old like tunes and stuff that I was like writing and whatnot.
Yeah.
I had this mindset of like, man, one day someone's gonna need something, right? So I taught myself how to play drums, not knowing that it was gonna be me, that I needed it,
Yeah.
And then it was the same thing with bass. Like it was just kind of like I had a bass guitar laying around the house that belonged to my brother, and he never ever played it. He never he picked it up a little bit because I was playing guitar. And he never used it. So I would get it and I would mess around with it. And then that's how, like, I mean, if I couldn't write something on the guitar, then I'd switch to bass, and then I just might write something,
Yeah.
So I kind of just taught myself how to be the best of being okay at different instruments. Yeah, in the event that someone needed it. And it turns out, I mean, a lot of friends of mine needed it.
Man, I know we needed it in Headbangers Pit.
Yeah, I mean,
holy smoke, man. It's like, hey, Jerry's not gonna not Jerry, but Don can't make it tonight. Oh shit. Well, I could play if you want. Are you serious? Do you think you can play? Yeah, I think I could do it. Well, maybe about 85, 90% of the songs. Well, shit, that works for me. And dude, you were fearless, and you went in there and you killed it.
We got through it.
We got through it. I know, right?
How many times?
Maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
at least.
Probably 2 or 3 times.
Which is, and that's a feat, because we were doing hard fucking songs that not anybody could do. But you made it happen, brother.
Yeah,
you made it happen. You really got a good sense of rhythm and a great memory, man. A great memory for music, and it's incredible. It's hard for me to retain all that kind of information, even though I play for these cover bands and stuff. It's like I got too much going on, and you got all that going on too, and you can still do it. So, big props to you, man, for making that work.
That, yeah.
Hell yes.
And those were all like just kind of almost spur of the moment, it was kind
nearly
of
right,
like day of or the night before, and it was like, well, I mean, if you want, I can do this. We can go for it, It's not going to be the same. Don is once again, like I'm not going to call myself a drummer. Don's a fucking drummer.
You better believe it. That's right. That's our man.
Thankfully, I've got shout out to Don, because I've got a lot to thank him for, with him playing with me in Wrath Upon the Skies for such a long time. I got a front row seat on how to do a lot of things that I can do behind the kit now. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Just watching and listening and seeing how he warms up and how he prepares, and just kind of, having, that fearless mindset of, there are times where it's like, hey man, we're about to set up. Where are you at? Like, where are you? Oh, I'm 5 minutes away. Dude, we start in 3 minutes. And like, I'll be right there. And then just shows up nonchalantly and then kills it. And it's like, bro, fuck off.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly, dude. Nonchalantly. Hey, don't worry about it. I got this. Sits down and boom. Shit. Big props, man. Big love to Don Pena out there. Hell yeah. And all the guys from Gratitude TX. Mm-hmm. He's been grinding out there. That was a hell of a show. We'll get to the show that you guys share the stage with on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. We'll get to that in just a little bit. So, what was the first concert you went to, Josh?
The very first concert?
Yes.
It was, so before the Water Gardens were the Water Gardens, when it was just grass.
Yeah.
It was a Rat and Great White.
Oh shit, Rat and Great White. I remember that. I didn't get to make it, but I remember that.
Yeah. I believe it was part of the
Wow.
Buck Days
I think it was.
festival.
That
Yeah, and they
kicks
had a
ass.
giant stage over there. It was like almost no one, like everyone was at all the other stages, and it's a carnival, of course.
Yeah, it's Carnival. Yeah.
You know, why not? Why not ride a Ferris wheel while listening to Rat?
Yeah.
Instead of just seeing them. But no, I was a huge Rat guy.
Yes, love Rat. Hell yeah.
I loved Great White as well. But I was a huge Rat guy, so it was kind of
Very cool. Hell yeah. And that was the original lineup back then.
no,
Both bands.
Screw the Rat. I want to watch Rat.
That's right. Hell yeah. You know what? I want to give some props real quick. Raphael, thanks for watching the show, man. Hell yeah. Ralph's, he's been, I got a chance to meet Ralph at the As Below, So Below, As Above, So Below, the art gallery that we had going on over there at the Produce downtown. Props to Sergio Elizondo and to Hybrid Records for making it all happen. And so Raphael, he's homebound in Arizona right now, but he's got a question for you. He wants to know what band or music besides metal and hard rock do you like?
I honestly, I listened to a little bit of everything. It absolutely was not always like that. I started with hard rock and metal. For sure. Like that's where I started.
And we kind of stay in that realm, but that's your comfort zone for a little bit. But but I know you got a big open mind.
It honestly, it took me a little bit longer to get into more death metal-y type stuff. It kind of came at the same time as like everything else, pop punk and stuff like that. I'm a giant Blink-182 fan. I absolutely love Blink-182. If you ever ask anyone what song they associate me with, just generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, they will probably say, "I Want It That Way" from Backstreet Boys.
Off the wall when I didn't see that coming.
And you know what? And touche to them because I love that song.
I love it too, dude. It's on my playlist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Bruno Mars guy. I love Bruno Mars.
Hey, he kills it.
Grew up. We had a greatest hits like Marvin Gaye CD that we would listen to. Like,
ooh, that's right.
Driving to school when I was like 4 or 5 years old or something.
So smooth, man. Dude. Yes. So much funk right there.
Yes. A lot of I grew up with all sorts of random things.
A lot of R&B right there.
A lot of random stuff. It was always primarily hard rock and metal stuff, but I grew up listening to all sorts of stuff, and I still do.
Thinking about growing up, I would always cruise around in my mom's little yellow Pinto, and all they had was AM, FM radio in there. And usually it's AM. When you were riding around as a kid in your dad's car or your mom's car, what did they like to listen to? Was it like Z95 or was it C101?
No. So it was C101 for the most part. Every so often, I would go to rehearsals with my dad. So my dad played in a band called Prime Leaf back in the day, and
cool. Prime Leaf.
And I would go there. Kind of hard rock, grungy for the most part. Kind of like Pearl Jam ish. I would say
killer. I dig it.
And they were good. They were really, really good. And every so often, I would go to their rehearsals because the lead guitarist, like his son was my age, and like we were really good friends and whatnot. So we would drive out to, I believe, Hannahville, and just like drive out there. And I would, they had C101 blasting all the time. So, back then they would play a lot of Megadeth. They had mucho Metallica.
There we go. Now I'm picturing the era.
Right. So,
okay. Of course, Rex Gabriel's there. He's been there for ages.
Yeah. I started with Rex and Rex.
Monty Montana was there.
Yes.
During that time.
And shout out to Monty.
Yes. Shout out to Monty. Love Monty.
And so it was around that little time frame and stuff.
Was Gino with Rex? Was it around that time, or was it more?
It was Rios.
Or was it Rios?
It was Rios.
Dan Rios.
Yeah. My man Dan Rios.
He's out there too, right there at the Eagle.
Absolutely.
104.5. Shout out to them.
Such a nice guy. He'd go see me in House of Rock sometimes.
He is a really sincerely nice dude.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hard rocker.
Love that guy. And but yeah, man, I mean C101 primarily, and then we had a cars used to have cassette players.
I remember. That's right.
So
Yeah.
we had cassettes. We had
You had some Rat, I'm sure.
we had some Rat. We had Kiss cassettes. And then once CD players in cars started being a thing, we had all sorts of CDs. So it was primarily CD stuff, that's when it was like all the time. It was always Rat, it was Kiss. Listened to a lot of Dokken. Listened to a lot of Dokken, and that's where I learned
George
to do
Lynch, Mr. Scary.
That's where I learned to do all like the really, really dumb, ignorant, high-pitched things that I do that most people are just like, please stop that. Please stop that.
Cool. Fuck yeah. Oh man, I'm digging it. Well, I tell you what, the next one I got for you is, when did you get to working with Wrath Upon the Skies and forming the band? What year was it?
So it was
and who was that original lineup?
So it was 2011. 2011. The way that it kind of came together is pretty interesting. So little backstory. The original lineup was myself on guitars and backing vocals. We had Jeremiah Obregon on the other guitar, primarily doing some leads and stuff like that. But we kind of both shared some of those duties. We had David Benavides on bass, Robin Guillen on lead vocals, who was
I remember her singing for you.
Our man Oscar, that's his daughter.
That's his daughter, right? Yeah.
And
shout
then
out Oscar.
Yes, and then we had another guy named Javier who played drums. So
Javi was the original drummer.
Yeah. So he was there. That's kind of how it started. They kind of formed just like them for the most part, and they would kind of just do some like rehearsals and stuff like that, but that was pretty much it. Jeremiah, or we call him these days is JC or Jace. So me, Jace, and David all went to high school together, and Jace borrowed a CD from my brother, right? My brother gave it to Jeremiah's old out of the picture girlfriend, and he thought it was me. He thought I was the one that gave the CD, so he liked me immediately.
All right,
because it was As Lay Dying's Shadow of Security.
Oh hell yeah!
So he
one of
thought
the best ones from As Lay Dying.
It's a great record, yeah. And he thought it was me, and it wasn't. It was my brother.
Okay.
so that leads into we graduate high school and all this stuff. And at that time, the skate park down on Ocean Drive was still kind of new. Okay. And every night we would just be little hoodlums and go skate it. We weren't destroying anything or anything. Not destroying, not that kind of hoodlums, but we'd go over there after hours and just skate until the cops came around. And,
right, exactly. Hell yeah.
And we just kind of met up one day, and it was Jason and David were hanging out, and I just kind of told them like, hey man, I mean, y'all play guitar and y'all play music, right? Like I do also, we should jam sometime, right?
Yeah.
And they agreed, and that we exchanged numbers and stuff like that. And then maybe anywhere within a week to 4 weeks, I get a call from an old friend of mine, John, and he tells me that he wants to form two bands. He wants to do one that's kind of like a Lamb of God type of band, right?
Yeah,
a little bit more groovy. And then he wants to start like a deathcore type of like old school Chelsea Grin, Bring Me the Horizon type of thing, right?
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. Which one do you want me in? He was like, well, I'd love to have you in both. I was like, okay, right off the bat, like I'm in two bands, right? Like right off the bat, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't even know if I can write that stuff, but you know what? We're gonna try.
Yeah.
So he calls a little meeting at the mall. So we all kind of meet up at the mall. He's like, yeah, the guitarist for the Lamb of God band can't make it. He's stuck at work. So we're just going to meet up with him tomorrow for an actual rehearsal. I was like, okay, cool. Who is it? Turns out it was Jace. So
Wow. All right.
So we end up meeting at John's house and stuff with a different, drummer and all that kind of stuff. And Jason and I met up at Guitar Center to kind of show each other some riffs and stuff. We're like, okay, well, I mean, what do you got? This is what I have. Just to kind of like see what we're working with and stuff before we actually
start
go
breaking the
and,
ice.
yeah, try to lay some stuff down. And the first thing he showed me is a song called Illusions, right?
Okay.
So that's what he shows me. And then what I show him is what we all know as the Black is Black.
Oh, all right.
Which,
yeah,
Black is Black.
That's right. Fuck yeah. That's it. That's the banger right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I show him that. He shows me Illusions. And we're like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I like what you got. You like what I got. This is going to work. Right.
Yeah.
So we go off, do our rehearsal and stuff. The drummer we have at the time, like playing with us and stuff, like doesn't really know how to play metal and whatnot. He's more of a pop punk drummer. So we jammed for like maybe an hour or something. Jace calls up Javier and is just like, hey man, I need a drummer. At this point in time, those four had kind of like split apart. There was like, from what I was told, there was like a little spat that happened. So it was like, hey,
okay,
I'm mad at you. Stay away from each other.
Yeah, something like that.
Jace calls Javi. He agrees, and then the one he was like, spatting with or whatever, hears about it and is like, no, my drummer. And then they go and they hash things out, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna form this back up, and you're gonna be with us. And all right, let's do that. And that was Wrath Upon the Skies.
There it goes. Okay, all right.
So, yeah, and there was that. The other band, the deathcore band, that band.
What did it become?
So I did one or two rehearsals with them, laid down some riffs and stuff like that. That band ended up becoming, if anyone remembers, Lay the Body in White.
Lay the Body in White.
Yeah,
okay.
Lay the Body in White. So I never played any shows with them or anything like that. I just wrote some riffs and stuff. Wrote a couple riffs. That was pretty much it. I don't quite remember if they were really using anything that I wrote. I don't believe so. But there was that. So I was there for the inception of that band. But
okay. Yeah. And so when you were like, it seemed like you're almost like the last piece of Wrath coming together from where we know it right there after the spat. And then from then on, were you doing a lot of the writing, the lyrics and the music?
Not lyrics. We let Robin do write whatever she wanted. Do what you wanted.
How about the Black is Black?
So the Black
Whose
is
lyrics
Black.
Are that?
The chorus I had written. The chorus is mine. The whole song.
That's when you're doing the screams.
Yes. Yes. So the whole song musically, the way that you hear it, the way that we're playing it now and stuff, is how I wrote it. It's never really changed.
Cool.
The chorus has always been the same, the exact same words and everything. I told Robin what the song was written about, what I had in mind for it, that she could use whatever lyrics she wanted, do whatever you want, just leave the chorus the same. And
cool. She
was totally fine with that. And yeah, she wrote her own lyrics, did all that. And then, fast forward a little bit, once everyone's gone, I kind of restructured a few of the songs, kind of like added and shortened little things, and then I rewrote every lyric.
Okay. All right. It's kind of solidified everything. It's like, okay, here we go. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
And we had nothing recorded or even demoed or anything like that either. So it was kind of like, I mean, I didn't really have a reference point of anything on what she was doing or anything. It's just, I kind of,
You made it just
all from scratch. Yeah.
All from scratch. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Well, I got to get talking about the first EP, Through the Depths of the Betrayal. Mm-hmm. That demo that came out, it was already like 8 years ago, if not a little bit longer, right? Mm-hmm. So you got that dropping again, but now it's actually dropping on the streaming platform, so it's catching up to everything else.
Yes.
And it's not just a demo version of the Black is Black; it's the actual. Is it the Beast?
No, so this is actually what we are releasing right now is the demo versions of what they were. So we went in. That first EP started as a two songer, which was The Black is Black and Untitled We Stand.
Okay.
And
All right.
those two songs, I did everything myself. I went into at the time known as Precision Studios at Rob Beltran.
Yeah.
I went in and I laid all that stuff down. And yeah, kind of just like had that, was kind of releasing that on its own. Right after doing that, I was able to solidify a lineup. So when those songs were recorded, I was by myself. So the band had already split up.
Okay.
I was by myself.
And you played every instrument?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They gave me, when we split up right after playing the second stage. I believe we headlined the second stage of Dillo Fest.
Yeah.
I believe it was 2012. Dillo Fest.
All right.
We literally got off the stage and within 10 minutes, it was just like Jace was leaving. He told us that he was going to leave, but he just wanted to focus on some other stuff, another musical project and stuff, and just kind of told us that he's going to keep his commitments that we've already booked and stuff like that.
Okay.
And that, well, once we get someone else, like he'll help them with the parts, he'll show them the parts, 1,000% good sport, all the mumbo jumbo.
Very cool. Yeah.
And, a few other members didn't like that, so they kind of just stormed off and canceled like everything that we had. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then everyone else just decided to just keep leaving. And Jace just kind of said, well, it looks like it's yours. Do with it what you will. Keep it going or not. It's up to you. So, all right. So here we are.
You have. Hell yeah.
Here we are 13 years later.
So is that dropping tonight?
No. So let me see. Back in January, we dropped that demo version of Black is Black. Right.
And it sounds pretty good, man.
Then, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's when we recorded it, we initially recorded it as like an EP. It was like not a demo, but years later, it's kind of like, no, I mean, I guess it's still kind of a demo version, like, for the most part. So we're releasing, it's a 5-song EP demo. Black is Black's already been released. That was back in January 4th, I believe. And then May 27th, Untitled We Stand, and The Name It Calls.
The Name It Calls.
Those 2 songs dropped. And if you listen to how that song is now compared to what just got released, like you can tell, like, oh, they're not 2 entirely different songs, but it's like, oh yeah, no, there's some stuff that got shortened up, like there's an extra chorus in there and different things. So that whole EP demo got released physically. It was never online. So we're finally like getting it online.
Good.
The rest of it, that's 3 of the 5 songs. The other 2 songs will be released within the next month or 2, hopefully.
Okay. All right.
And then right after that, there's a second demo that never got released.
Ooh,
it never got
so
released.
That's coming out then?
Yes.
Oh, killer.
The 3 songs that are on there, 2 of them people will know. We do play them live pretty consistently, like they're consistently in the rotation. There's one that people won't really be so familiar with unless you've been to several shows. We've played it a few times live. It's a 3-song EP demo that it never got released. I didn't feel like it was up to par. There was still some like mixing stuff that wasn't done, that we weren't able to ever finish. So they're gonna get released the way that they are, and then hopefully by the end of the year we will have a full record where most of those songs are re-recorded. In the tuning we're currently in, and songs that are like new.
Dude, that'll be kick-ass.
Yes.
Kick-ass. How many songs are going to be on that one?
There'll be
God willing.
7.
Seven on
There
that
should be
beast.
7 on that one. We've got 14 songs ready to go.
Yeah.
7 of them are already laid down for record 1. Record 2 is already done being written. We're 2 songs away from completing record 3.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn it. And where's this getting recorded at?
So we started this first record with Brian over at Harbor City.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I can't say enough good things. The recording
Yeah.
process has been fantastic over there. We've really nailed like our emotions into the songs and stuff, and I think you
Yeah.
can really hear and feel it.
It really captured that, right?
Yeah,
Dude, badass.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit. I know I was reading one of your posts how 2 of these tracks, Untitled We Stand and The Name It Calls, some fan favorites right there. Give me a little background on those 2.
So
Untitled We Stand.
Untitled We Stand is that's a song that's kind of about just the ugliness that's kind of in our world, you know. Not necessarily in like a political standpoint or anything, but us as humans and stuff like that. I wrote it after I was dating somebody. Man, I can't even. At least 10 years ago, or something. I was dating someone and kind of just like we split up or whatever, and come to find out there was just like all this stuff happening behind the scenes that shouldn't have been happening, and I found out about it. So it's kind of like, man, like you kind of do what you can to give someone the world,
right?
You know, or at least your world, you know, and you know, it's disheartening for someone to just kind of like chew it up and then just like spit it back right in your face. You know what I mean? Dude. So I kind of wrote that song just saying like, man, like what I'm seeing right now is disgusting. It's ugly. I, you know, despise what I'm seeing from us as human beings. And the song progresses to the very end where it's basically saying like, man, if we open our eyes to how beautiful our world is, to how beautiful we are as humans, and just treat one another with love and respect. Like, I mean, we can live with love and respect.
It would be a whole lot nicer place to be around.
It's a much, much more beautiful world. And, you know, there's a lot of ugliness because people just see ugliness.
Yeah. You know, it's like mom used to tell me, it's like, you know what, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it. And if you ain't got something nice to say, don't fucking say it. You know, if you got some ugly fucking thoughts, keep it to yourself, man. I'm always trying to keep the PMA up, right? We both are. And you know, sometimes I can be at work and there'll be that one grouchy dude, you know, that we don't talk at all because he's always grouchy and I'm always positive, and he's just like, what the fuck you have to smile about? Ain't nothing, this ain't no good morning. And it's like, man, why do you have to be like that? Let's make it better, man. And I got nothing against, you know, he or she or anybody at work, but man, I love when we can get along and get things going, man. We're a part of a team. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So yeah, I definitely feel where you're coming from on that song. So how about The Name It Calls?
The Name It Calls is where I did not listen to what Mama Says. That's my hate song.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's my hate song. I'm a pretty positive person. You know, I'm always preaching PMA to all sorts of people, and you know, don't get me wrong. A lot of the people that hang around me and know me know that I'm consistently making all sorts of jokes. I'm roasting anyone and everyone.
Yes,
it doesn't matter who you are as a
right
fan of comedy and stuff. Anything goes for me.
Yeah.
So I'll make a joke about anything and everything. But it's all in good fun. It's nothing I ever say is meant to, like, you know, be hateful or harmful or anything.
Yeah.
Not with The Name It Calls. Not with The Name It Calls. I was they had to talk me out of name dropping.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I got talked out of name dropping, and I was like, all right, fine.
Okay.
You guys win. I'll let that one slide. But there was basically there was a band that I was in called My Soul Amongst Lions, And I absolutely, even to this day, absolutely love that song. There's still a lot of stuff that I do and I write that's inspired by that band and stuff like that.
Cool.
You know, shout out Cody Austin and Jesse Reyes. Love you guys. So there was when that band was happening and stuff like that, we were a 5-piece and stuff, and slowly people started leaving and we went down to a 3-piece, and we were consistently being told and hearing from several different people that that one person in particular was basically trying to tear us down.
Okay.
And then that aside, there's also other people in my life and Cody's life and Jesse's life and all the lives of everyone else that was in Wrath at the time and stuff like that, that just were consistently being torn down, you know, and being told like, you know, like we're pretty much never going to amount to anything, you know? So that song was basically me sticking out a middle finger to all those people.
Right. It sounds like a big fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And that's exactly what I say before we even play the song. Because like I always kind of say that before the song, because of all of those people that consistently try to, not even just the other people, but in particular, of all those people, none of them still play music. None of them are still on a stage. None of them are doing anything that anyone knows anything about.
Yeah.
And
right.
I'm on the Tony Gomez show, motherfuckers.
That's it. We're banging, man. Hell yeah. Playing all over the place and really, really making a difference, dude. Making a difference in musically and being able to share the stage with some fucking great musicians in the bands that you're in.
Yeah. And that's actually that song was the inspiration for it. I mean, I wear my own shirts all the time. I'm wearing one right now.
And I like to wear them too.
Yeah. See, and that song, The Name It Calls, is what inspired that shirt and this shirt.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that's basically what that song is. Just it's a fuck you to anyone that tells you not to live your dreams, basically.
That's right. That's right. Fuck them, man. And that is a tight shirt. I like that one too. Fuck yeah. I like the middle fingers on this one.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sporting the shorts too. They're tight ass shorts, man. You always got a good knack for merchandise.
Dude, those shorts are so comfy. I have mine in the car.
Yeah, dude. Hell
so
yes. They're badass.
So
very
comfy.
Badass. Let me ask you this. What's the current lineup of Wrath Upon the Skies?
The current lineup. So we are a 4-piece right now. So it's we've got Josh Cruz. Man, everyone's gonna learn their real names.
That's right.
So on show day, everyone in Wrath Upon the Skies is Josh. They all get different Josh nicknames. So on the lead guitar, we do have Josh Cruz. That's his actual name. And I'll explain their nicknames as well.
All right.
On bass, we've got Alex Cruz, who is Josh's older brother. On stage, I call him Josh Cruz number 2.
Josh Cruz 2, all right.
Yeah, because he's older, so it shouldn't make sense that he's number 2, like at all. I'm Josh, or you know, as I've had the nickname Monster since like 2003. So Josh Monster is what a lot of people know me as, or just Monster, just Josh. Your choice on what you want to call me. So there's that, and then the newest guy is we call him Baby Josh.
Oh yeah,
he's the youngin. He's 23, but his name is Alex Garza.
Alex
Garza. So if you don't call him Baby Josh, we call him G Baby. Because and the reason we call him that is because there's a Keanu Reeves movie named it's called Hardball.
Yeah, I remember that one.
There's the youngest kid in there. He dies in the movie. We don't want G Baby to die.
Of course not.
But in the movie, the youngest kid, his name is G Baby, and he's like the most gangster kid ever. Like much love to that kid, right? So any band that's got a Garza in it, everyone calls them Garza. And I didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that. So it was like, you know what? You're the youngest one. G Baby. G
Baby's yours. That's your tag right there. Hell yeah. And Alex is good people, man. Hell yeah. I remember he went to maybe a couple of our shows in Victoria that we did with Headbangers Pit.
Yeah.
Yes. Very cool.
Man, I am very, very, very grateful to have met him and have him in the ranks and stuff like that.
Right.
Because when he's not working or he's not with us in Wrath, he helps Rhodey with Throat Locust. He helps Rhodey with Urth
No
Realm
kidding.
if he can.
Yeah.
You know, with Headbanger's Pit. And yeah, he's one of those guys like, man, if he's I've always been someone that's kind of like, man, if I'm capable of helping you do something, then
Yeah.
I will absolutely do it. You know, if I can't, then I can't. And he's the exact same way.
I feel it, dude. Exactly,
and
man.
I love it.
I love it too. I definitely love it, man. Much love to you, Alex, man. And hopefully you're watching the show tonight. And thank you, Raphael, man. Hell yeah. Appreciate all the love. If you got any more questions, keep them shooting. So my next question for us is, when's going to be the next gig for Wrath?
I believe I want to say it's next week. I can pull up my calendar right
Bring
here.
it up. I'm trying to think of. I know I saw the flyer when I was going through your Facebook, and
yeah, it is next week, next Wednesday at Boozers.
All right.
Yeah, so that's the next Wrath show. Yeah, Wrath.
Do you find it hard having to juggle between the bands? Or is there kind of, I mean, really, I can imagine it's on a first come, first serve basis as far as dates getting booked, right?
It's not that hard to balance for me. Every band is every band's like a different version of the same kind of metal in a way.
All right.
So it's very easy for me to know like what I'm gonna play and what I'm not gonna play and stuff like that. The balance for me, the harder balance for me is balancing a little bit of my home life, which I don't have much of.
Yeah.
I'm always working on something, whether it's actual work, or if I'm I'm involved with 5 projects. I'm involved with 5 projects of my own. Which is in a sense considered work, but
yeah, it is.
But fun work,
right?
Fun
but
work.
I know it that's work.
Yeah, and that's not including. I recently signed on to help out a couple buddies. So if all goes well, then I'll help them out and until as much as I can.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, the home life is more of the balance, the harder balance for me, because all I have really at home is my daughter. So
yeah,
she's got a super busy schedule. Her schedule is just as busy as mine is. So
wow,
yeah, and she's 7 years old.
Yeah,
she's 7 years old. She's got a super crazy schedule. So yeah, balancing that and whatnot is the harder part. There's been times where I've gone off and she does competition twirling. So
okay, yeah.
So she's traveling and whatnot. So
wow.
I go, and there's been times where I've gone and I've traveled to go do her stuff and be there for her and like help her along the way. Like, hey, like this is where I'm seeing like mess ups, like this is what we're working on,
cool.
And so I was like, okay, no, I got you. And then I'm there as long as I can. And it's like, I got to make a 4-hour drive right now. And if I don't leave right now, I'm going to be late. And then I gotta go and, book, cause I'm usually booked at least 1-2 months in advance. Usually.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know what it means. It's the life of a musician,
mm-hmm.
and a hungry musician.
Yeah.
There's because I'm in the same boat, man, trying to balance it all.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes it hurts your heart because you want to be always there and always where the family needs you at all times, and 8 or 9 times out of the 10 you're there,
mm-hmm.
but it's those 1 or 2 that are like, oh man, I wish I could be there for that one too.
Yeah. See, and my daughter, and she usually comes first when it comes to any of the booking stuff. So it's always her and Wrath are what my priorities are. Those are first things. And I tell anyone and everyone, like, hey, if Ivy has something happening,
Yeah.
or Wrath has something happening, that's what I'm doing. So if you book something, like, just know that if I'm dealing with one of those two things, that's what's happening.
Right.
And if I can't be there because of those two things, tough shit.
Right.
That's
fair.
Yeah.
Knowing that right from the get-go.
Yeah. Those are my
Uh-huh.
two
That's
priorities.
good.
And that's what I tell anyone and everyone that I work with. So
that's a good way just to make it work right there.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and at least I feel like if you know who I am and you don't know how much Wrath means to me in my life and stuff, then I mean, then you're probably in for rude awakening when it comes to working with me. You know?
Right. Then you need them to get to know you a little bit better. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Well, you know, tell me about what you love about jamming with the guys in Urth Realm. Because I know you guys are old friends.
Man, I love those guys. So I've been watching those guys almost as much as I've been watching you with Killamora. You know,
I know what you mean. We
were,
jam together all the time.
Yes, back when they were Leoric. You know,
yeah,
that's how I discovered them. I went to a Killamora show at Zeros, and Leoric was on the bill. I believe it was. I know Kill was headlining. I don't remember who opened the show, but I believe it was.
It feels like maybe it was like another media weekend.
It might
maybe that's Friday and a Saturday.
Might have been, but I know Leoric was there, and I know that
it could have even been Periwinkle. Could have even been around then.
They were around.
I mean, they were around. But maybe they weren't on that one.
They weren't on that show. It was Awaiting Oblivion.
Oh yeah,
so,
okay.
I want to say there was one more.
Adon right there.
Yes, that was the first time I ever saw. I saw Adon, and like that's when it was like,
look at him, right? Like that dude's bad, right?
All right.
In Awaiting Oblivion,
yeah,
he's kicking ass.
Love Awaiting Oblivion. I've had the privilege of filling in for them 2-3 times, I believe. Vocally.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah, so
all right.
And it was always last minute. It's like, hey man, how long of a set y'all gonna have? Oh, we got 30 minutes. Sick. That's awesome. Yeah, you want to do vocals? What? Yeah, you want to do vocals? You got lyrics? I don't know any of your lyrics. And like, no, this is what the songs are called. Make something up. All right.
All right, dude, that's badass. And you know what? You're fearless like that.
I mean,
it's in your blood, dude. I don't think I could do it. I need more structure. At the same time, yeah, I've done plenty of rehearsals where I'm ad-libbing fucking lyrics, this and that, and that's just part of the writing process sometimes. But doing it in front of everybody, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, dude. Would way to kill it.
You know, well, some of those shows with them were kind of like they were like reunion type things, right? So there were people there that definitely knew that, like, hey, you're not part of the band, you know? And there's other people that like never even heard of them. So it was cool because it was basically a 3-piece. It was, you know, Don and Jeremy Castillo playing guitar and stuff like that. And, you know, so it was basically them. And I've been around them for such a long time and worked with both of them for such a long time that it was kind of it was easy. Yeah, it was a no-brainer. It's easy for me to kind of like dive in with them. So, you know, you know, just find, I don't know anything about music theory at all, but just find the key that they're in somehow and just kind of, if I'm going to belt out some clean stuff, then just try to match something, you know, and other than that, just scream nonsense.
That's how it's done, man. That's how it's done. This is what you do. Yeah. This is what you do. That's all badass.
So that's basically how I got in touch with the Urth Realm guys, you know, Fabian and Mike and stuff, and just went to a bunch of their shows throughout the years and stayed friends and remained friends. And
what's the current lineup?
So right now, I'm on bass and backing vocals. Fabian is a lead guitar. We've got Raul Hernandez on the rhythm. He's doing some lead guitars as well, so he's playing guitar. Mike is
vocals.
Vocals. He helps us write on guitar and stuff like that. So at rehearsals, he's still keeping his chops up, and he'll still help structure things. And then we got Justin Gomez on drums.
Justin's a fucking killer on drums, man.
Unstoppable.
Oh shit. And you know, listening to as I was listening to some of the Urth Realm off of Spotify, you know, of course, God Complex comes up, and then the previous demo that they got out.
Mhm.
Holy shit, they're so fucking heavy.
Oh
So
man.
fuck, and you know, I because of the low tuning and the different syncopations, man. Of course, you know, reminds me of Meshuggah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
And just, you
yeah.
know, because the tightness is all there, just like Meshuggah is like, man, it's just mind blowing and badass, fucking brutal vocals
Mhm.
from Mike. And who is Mike doing all the cleans on God Complex too?
No, actually, that's
Who is
me and him.
Is it both
It's
y'all?
primarily Mike. Mike is the lead vocalist. That's
Uh-huh.
like, you know, that's him.
Well, I hear the hards.
Yeah, he'll
I knew that's
always
all Mike.
he'll always be there. But God Complex clean vocally is primarily Mike, and then I have lead tracks on it, but they're still behind him. So
Okay.
he is the main vocal
Yeah.
on that whole song.
Great. Great job.
If you listen closely, you can hear me I'm doing a lot of the harmonies for that
right.
song. He's doing harmonies as well, but a lot of the higher pitch stuff is a lot of the stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then vocally with screams, so he's the lead vocal as far as all the screams, but everyone Raul wasn't with us yet. So you're actually listening to a mix of Fabian, Justin, and myself screaming with or behind Mike.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Everyone has a vocal track.
Does Justin sing live?
He does some backup like screams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brutal. Son of a bitch. That's one hell of a team you got there. You guys are killing it. Fucking killing it. So I saw some footage of the crowd really fucking it up last Saturday for you guys. How did that show? How'd you like that show?
You know, I think that's one of the best shows.
They're giving you love.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best shows that we've played so far.
Cool.
I've been with them for 2 years, and Raul's been with us for a year, and I think we're getting better and better with each and every single show. But they were always like, man, even when they were 5-piece beforehand, and then went down to a 4-piece, and then went down to just a 3-piece. I mean, they were still killing it, you know,
right?
Absolutely killing it. And I'm stoked that I even got the call.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked that I even got the call. So
yeah,
to jump in and help write some of the, like, we've got so many songs that are just sitting there.
No kidding. Wow.
They're just sitting there, and it's not because we can't finish them. There's a bunch of just finished songs. It's just like we get in to start like nailing stuff down and be like, okay, let's rehearse for this set, and then let's finish up this song, and then we start a whole new one. And then it's never ending, but it's coming. We've got an EP that we're working on right now. I think we're working on 2, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Then we're working on 2.
Okay.
I know
maybe something out by the end of the year.
Hopefully. We have another song that we've already tracked. We're waiting to send it off on mixing and mastering.
Cool.
And
that'll be another fresh single right there.
That one, I don't quite know if God Complex will be on the next EP, or if it's just going to stay as a standalone. But the next song is going to be part of the next EP that I believe we're calling it Primal.
Okay.
Based off of an old video game called Primal Rage.
Yes, Primal Rage.
Primal Rage. Yeah.
And does everybody in that band like games as much as you?
I probably wouldn't say everyone.
Okay.
I think Raul's like hobby is like, if he's not with his newborn, then he's playing guitar.
Really?
He's playing guitar. Justin
cool.
works a whole bunch, so I don't think he really gets a lot of time to like game or anything. So when he's got free time, like, he's usually like, he goes and he's that boy's practicing. Like, you know, and when you watch him play, like, it's very evident. It's very evident. So I know that Fabian and I game quite a bit. I want to say that Fabian streams on Twitch, but I'm not entirely sure.
All right.
I'm not entirely
cool.
sure. I know his wife Tony does, so we
Yeah.
can find her somewhere if she's if
Do
she
you
see if
stream
she
too?
watches. I don't.
Okay.
I don't, but I know that Tony streams quite a bit. So,
All
Tony, if you're
right.
watching, drop your link somewhere so people can go watch you.
Yeah, put it in there.
Please.
We'll check it out.
But yeah, they game, I game quite a bit, as much as I can, at least. And then nothing. I don't think Mike games very much. I think he's more of a, he loves a lot of the old school stuff, but he is also like always working on something.
Yeah.
So
I've run into Mike over at the college, man. He's always busy, bro.
Yeah.
He's always busy, man. All you guys, man. I don't know how you make it happen, but it's the love.
Yeah.
You make it happen when you love something that much.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Absolutely. I want to give a shout out real quick. Elijah Mendiola, man, and his show, the Lizard News Network. My man, he's got a badass podcast, dude.
Nice.
And lizard people are out there. I fucking believe it, dude. I fucking believe it. Big shout out, Elijah, and hell of a fucking guitar player, drummer, and everything. Badass musician. And we used to jam together for a little while and Exist in Anger. Thanks for the congratulations on 50 plus episodes.
50 plus.
I'm getting up there. Yep. And Raphael's got another question for you.
Yeah.
Are you a big gear guy? And do you like to try new stuff for guitar, drums, bass, etc.? Or are you, what you have is what you use?
That's a real good question. And I'm gonna say that me being a gear guy is probably perspective on others, because I do like to look up different types of gear, whether it's bass, guitar, drums, or even microphones, like for vocals and stuff like that. So I say I leave that up to perspective, because other people tend to see some of the stuff that I have and have all sorts of questions for me on what I'm using, why I'm using it, and so on.
Yeah.
And I know I know the answers. I can give you straight answers. I do look up all sorts of gear and stuff like that. But what I have is, I don't use what I have because it's like, oh, that's what's available to me. I very specifically chose what I have
by design,
because I know that it works. I know that it not just gets the job done, but this is probably why I say that in some aspects I'm hard to work with on like a producer, engineer kind of standpoint, because I know what I want to hear. I know what I want to listen to. I know what I want to feel. Right?
Yes.
Recording instruments for me is not just about, what I'm hearing. It's also what I'm feeling.
All right.
So what I have, I'm working with a Kemper. I've got a Kemper that I use for bass and guitar.
So that gives you a whole assortment, all kinds of different sounds.
I've got at least 500 different things programmed in my Kemper. Right. I literally use 2 of them.
Cool.
I use 2. I use 2 things, and that's just, I'm using the Kemper primarily as just a head. Get as clean of a tone as I can. I use a precision drive from Horizon Devices in front as an overdrive. I keep the drive off, like it's basically just a boost. And then I'm using a rack mounted Pod HD 500 for all my effects. So it's part of my clean tone. It's part of my dirty tones. There's a very, very specific effect that I'm known for using, probably way too much, but I use it. I've never heard anyone else use it the way that I use it. The closest would probably be like Machine Head, but even then, it's a big swell effect that they have. But it's different from what Rob Flynn is using. So it's in that vein, but it's still different sounding what they use. And until I can find something else to replicate that, I use what I know.
Well, from an outsider standpoint, and because I've seen Josh in action with Headbangers Pit most recently, He's got tremendous, excellent gear, and he always seems to keep growing. The collection keeps going, and you see something you like, you go out there and get it. If it's another guitar you got your eye on, if it's something you want, you end up getting it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, and it's like you said, it's by design. It's because it's going to deliver. It's part of what it's going to enhance the whole package.
Yeah. No,
there's
absolutely.
a reason for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I mean, I'm a big EMG guy. I've got EMGs in almost everything except for one guitar. So with Wrath Upon the Skies, we use 7 strings. So I've got three 7 strings. My main one is the Matt Heafy 7-string custom signature.
Yeah.
So that's my main guitar. It stays home, and it's a studio guitar now. So I track demos with it. I use it just for the studio.
I dig it.
Like it's got, as far as the 7-string sound that I need and that I want and that I like, that's what delivers for me. I have a 7-string Agile that I really like, that does it for me as well. But that's another guitar where it's like there's some stuff that I need to fix with it to make it what I need it to be.
All right.
And then the last one, I have a Sterling Ernie Ball 7-string Majesty.
Yeah.
So that also does the trick. That is more of that has been my demo guitar, and it's been used live. Actually, it hasn't been used live yet. But until I get another Majesty or Ernie Ball, that's gonna kind of like stay home for the most part.
Right now, stage wise, is there a band you're playing guitar with?
Stage wise, no.
Okay.
Stage wise, no. So I just demo with those three. Well, it's mainly the Heafy and the Ernie Ball that I demo with.
Yeah.
As far as Wrath stuff, there is other stuff that I use. If I am playing guitar live, if it's a 6-string, I've got a 6-string Epiphone. It's my favorite guitar. It has all this. It's everything that I look for in a guitar is what that particular Epiphone Les Paul has. The other guitar I mainly use is I have an endorsement with a guitar company out of Russia called Kanoni Keen. And so I've got a 6-string Kanoni Keen from them that's got red EMG X Series 8160s in it.
Awesome.
So
what else are you endorsed by?
I'm also endorsed by Soultone Cymbals.
That's right, Soultone Cymbals.
Soultone Cymbals. So Chris Contos, Machine Head. Steven Adler. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, there's the other. Should I say? And equipment mates.
Yeah,
gear mates. Right.
Yeah,
there.
Exactly. So I endorsed by Soultone, and then I have an endorsement with Collision Drumsticks.
Killer. Yeah. You're grinding, man, and that's why they see it. That's why they know you're going to be out there grinding and putting this shit to the test. It's kind of like the old Samsonite commercials where they would throw the luggage in with a fucking gorilla, and he'd just be in the cage, you tearing that shit up. There you are, dude, fucking bashing out with the sticks, with the guitars, putting it out there and making it look good. Making them look good doing it.
And all three of those will be on the new Wrath record.
Oh, badass. So. Kick ass, putting it to the grind. Hell yeah. Thanks a lot for the question, Raphael. Philip, let's see. I got a question. Philip got too. Good to see you, bro, man. Hadn't seen you in a while. He's got a question for you. What drove you to become a musician? And what's up, Josh? Long time. You remember Phil?
Philip, yes.
Yeah, Phil, for the man. I've been looking at some old, like some Brutal Poverty pictures that I came across, and I seen me in one of the pictures, and Brutal and Philip in the scene too, and I think he's got a mohawk in there. But yeah, would it be Kiss?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think
that kind of got you into wanting to be a musician.
That's what got me into wanting to be a musician, and then of course, there's other bands as well that
how about your dad? Was that kind of inspiring seeing him already rocking in a band?
It not necessarily. I was around it enough and stuff to where like I see it
Yeah.
and whatnot. But watching him the few times that I was able to, like, I mean, my mind was already made up.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it
By
was.
then.
Yeah, it was absolutely. It was already made up. So,
Yeah. All right. I get it.
I mean, there's things that I was able to take away from
Yeah.
watching and
Uh-huh.
whatnot.
But by then you're already like, man, I know it.
Yeah,
I'll be a musician.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I kind of made up my mind like way beforehand, like way before even like actually
Yeah.
seeing him play or anything like that. So there wasn't
Very cool.
there wasn't too much that I was
Yeah.
able to.
You're very self-motivated.
Yeah.
You don't really lean on anybody, and yeah, I gotta say you're not one to make excuses as far as like I can't do it because of this or because of that. You always find a way to do it, and if there's anything that we've ever tried to book, as a band together, you've always told me that, just like we talked about earlier. Hey, I've got Rats coming up. We got this going on. I can't do it. We find another date, and we work around it. It's just one of those things, man. And kind of on the same tip, when I want to work with somebody in a band, I work around their schedule because that's the person I want to work with. Because in this game of music, we're hard to come by. The people you want to work with are hard to come by.
Yeah.
A lot of people play guitar and play drums, a lot of badass singers out there, but the camaraderie is what makes it so much sweeter.
Yeah.
In all these bands, man. And it in all these guys that you jam with. So Phil, good question, but that's kind of like how I started out the interview tonight. I wanted to dig down right at the beginning and find out what kind of got Josh inspired to start jamming on guitar and becoming a musician. Glad you're on the show. Thank you, Raphael. Hell yeah. Keep the questions coming. All right. We're doing pretty good on time. Just a little over an hour. I like to wrap it up within 2 hours, so that way I can always publish it on YouTube without having to do any edits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can always come back and do more.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
me and Josh would always hang out after the Headbanger pitch shows, especially out of town. And he would always help me load up, dude. God bless your heart, dude. And it's kind of like you were mentioning just about Alex, Alex, if he can help, he's going to help. You're going to help if he can help. And we would always have great talks about either comics and wrestling and music in general. And I miss those kind of talks, man, because a lot of times, I love being with my wife and she's my best friend, but I don't have too much bro time, outside of that. And sure, we jamming all the time, you know what I mean? But when we're jamming, it's a lot, it's work.
Yeah.
And there's not too much small talk, and you're sure there is, but there's not a lot of just downtime where you can just really bullshit and really have a good conversation and dig deeper into the different things that we all have in common. So I've always enjoyed that about us talking, man. So, well, it could be a part 3, part 4. Hell yeah. You know what I mean?
By all means, let's make it happen. Let's
Good.
go.
Good, man. So my next question for you is going to be in regards to the next Urth Realm gig. When can they find you guys hitting the stage together?
That will be on Thursday. This coming Thursday.
You're playing 3 times this week?
I am playing. Are we going to count Saturday? Guess not, because that already happened.
Well, I'm thinking I saw I already know you had something planned for tomorrow. That's Red Rabbit. So this is Thursday. And I could have sworn you had something coming up on Friday.
Okay. So if we're including the Saturday that just happened, right?
Okay.
I have 5 gigs this week.
5 and damn between Saturday to Friday.
Yeah. So this past Saturday, from Saturday to Saturday. So this past Saturday was Urth Realm.
Yes.
Tomorrow, I'll be with Throat Locust at the Red Rabbit.
Killer.
So I'll be with Throat Locust. Thursday, I'm going to be with Urth Realm and At My Signal.
Oh, cool.
At My Signal is gonna.
I was gonna add At My Signal. I just didn't have a chance to check with you as far as, hey, are you still rocking that one?
Yeah. So At My Signal is it's still active, just not as active as anything else is. It's more of just if there's an offer, there's an offer. If there isn't, then cool.
Yeah.
We are.
Are you doing guitar in that one?
No.
Vocals?
So I actually started out bass and backing vocals, and then a long while back we just lost our drummer. We lost our drummer, and I would actually jam the last EP that we released. I would jam that as my drum warm up.
Oh, okay.
So that's like, when I started taking drums a little bit more serious, to where it was like, okay, well, I need to learn how to do different things so I can like try to write things, because like I'm by myself in Wrath at that time. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, if I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna be drumming and stuff, I mean, I need to have like a drummer's perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
So I would warm up to At My Signal songs, and then one day,
Right.
At My Signal kind of split up a little bit, and then one day I met up with our old vocalist Joe, and just kind of was like, hey man, well, I've been learning the songs like on drums, like I know them, so I know them on bass also. So if you get a drummer, I can keep doing bass, or or whatever.
Yeah.
And if not, then I mean, I'll do some drums until we find an actual drummer. And then just
Yeah.
no one looks for fucking drummers. No one looks for drummers. So I got stuck. I got stuck there.
It's a hard role to fill. Everybody always has their own their drummer in mind, and if they can't find him, he's already taken. And so it's like there's nobody out there.
Every rehearsal we have. So Gil is he's the lead guitar player. He's the longest standing member. He's the founding member. Other than that, I joined At My Signal in 2014. 2014 is when I played my first show with them. So and I've been there ever since. And I tell him,
is Joe still singing?
He's not. We don't have a vocalist. So we've been playing every show instrumentally. And that's one of the things that I kind of tell to Gil is like, hey man, find me a fucking drummer. Just find me a drummer. And he always like, no, we need to find a vocalist. The fuck you do? Get a goddamn drummer. I'll do it.
Right.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Oh shit. I get it. I know what you mean. Sometimes it's like I like you where you're at. You're already kicking ass right there. Let me worry about the singing part.
To Gil's credit, he's had some very not so fun experiences with drummers.
Oh shit.
So I want to say I've probably been the longest tenured as far as behind the kit and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I mean I can just
mm-hmm.
I can the style that he has as a guitar player is like absolutely not foreign to me by any means. He's not a very complicated guitarist to work with as far as like the riffs he's writing and stuff like that. But I understand how he can be like hard to get along with writing wise, because it's just kind of like he has a very he's got a very different style than what most people are used to. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of just like it's hard for some people to just kind of jump in.
I get it. To your credit, you played with at least maybe 20 great musicians for on the low end without even counting easily. Mm-hmm. And with all those personalities and characteristics that you've already had to be encountered with, the chemistry doesn't always work for everybody else as it works good for you. You know what I mean? I think part of what makes you so a great element to have in every band is the positivity, your open-mindedness, and the fact that you're not even there if you don't even want to be there. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't even tell them, hey, I'll do this, I'll do that, unless you actually have some sincere want to be in that group. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not doing charity work. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm going to do it because I think you got something good going on. Mm-hmm. And I sincerely would like to be a part of it.
I mean, that's actually, other than, well, I guess not Throat Locust or Wrath. With Wrath, it was kind of like, Jason and I were already kind of jamming a little bit. And then it was like, all right, well, we're going to continue this thing that we were going to try to go with, and just you come with us. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
With Throat Locust, it was, I was asked in the early stages to join that project before it actually was a thing. And, and I agreed, and it was kind of like, okay, well, cool. I'll get with you soon and we'll link up and whatever. Right. And then that kind of never happened. They went the direction they went with the, different drummer and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, a few months later, it's like, hey man, so that project, like, still want in? And like, let's do it, man.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. So there, I mean, there's that, and that's
Okay.
that's kind of what happened with At My Signal and Urth Realm. With At My Signal, we played Wrath, and At My Signal played the first, I believe, from what I was told, it was the first metal show at Bone Shakers.
Okay, cool.
On the small stage, that big O stage wasn't even built yet. So it
it
was
was on the small one.
small
Okay.
checkered stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were playing on there, and then that morning, the morning of the show, Joe hits me up and goes, "Hey man, our guitar player can't make it. Our bass player is the one who's been playing drums with us lately because our drummer lives in San Antonio now. We're gonna drop the show." I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Can't drop the show. Like, who else is on the bill?" I was like, "It was just us and Wrath." And like, "You booked a 2-band bill?" I'm like, what?
What?
It's like, you can't drop, dude. Like, I'm not gonna be able to find anyone in like 2 hours.
Right?
You know, like,
my
no.
band's already ready to play.
Yeah, and he was just like, "No, Gil doesn't want to do it as a 3-piece," and like, "Oh, you don't have someone else filling in on bass or anything?" It's like, "Yeah, but he's busy. He can't do it." And like, "All right, and what about Cassie?" We had Cassie playing guitar at the time, so it was like, "Okay, well, what about Cassie?" Like, "Well, she's working. She's not going to be able to get out on time, and she's already tried, and it's not working."
Oh, okay.
Like, well,
now
fuck. All right, well, let me go pick up my gear. I'll learn your set.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait, are you serious?" "Yeah, tell me where to meet you."
Yeah.
And yeah, literally 1 hour before we were supposed to be there for like sound check and stuff.
Yeah.
I drove my ass out to Annaville where they were practicing at the time.
Yeah.
I learned their set in an hour.
There we go.
On bass. Yeah. Kind of watered down, but I learned it. And then the next show I already had things down enough to where like I was able to, like play with a little bit more precision, a little bit more like,
yes,
fancy, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
So I did that. And then my second show with them was in Dallas. My second show with them was in Dallas. And it was kind of like, "Hey, we got the show in Dallas. Gil wants to drop. Why?" I was like, "Well, Phil's going to play drums and, Juan's going to play bass, but Cassie can't make it. So he doesn't want to play just one guitar because it's going to be empty." I was like, "Yeah, well, we just played a show as a 4-piece and it sounded just fine." So I was like, "Yeah, but he doesn't want to play that second guitar."
Mm-hmm.
Then pack up my gear. Let me go.
Shit, okay.
So I showed up 3 hours before we needed to take off to Dallas, and I learned the guitar set.
Damn.
And then I went and I played guitar at
There
my
we
second
go.
gig.
Damn.
And I've been with them since. And with Urth Realm, I was working, and Fabian showed up. Fabian showed up with his wife Tony. They they love pizza and wings. So I'm a quote unquote chef. So
yes, sir.
So I cooked up some za, cooked up some wings. I went to go personally take it out to them. I hadn't seen them in a while, and just kind of extend the offer. It was like, "Hey man, you guys haven't really been doing anything. I don't know if y'all are still like, I know Mike plays guitar, but y'all were looking for a vocalist at some point. So if y'all want someone to do some vocals or something, like I'm down to help y'all with whatever y'all need, or if you just need a bass player or, other guitar or something, whatever you guys need, I'm down to help you guys with until you find someone better,
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there." "Okay, no, that'd be cool. I'll toss that out to the guys." I'm like, "Okay, cool. It's good seeing y'all."
Yeah.
The very next day, Mike shows up. Just to have a slice. Shows up. So I go say hi. I hadn't seen him in a while. I was like, "Hey man, Fabian was here." And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told him. Man, if y'all need help with a fill-in or anything, bass or guitar, if if y'all are looking for an actual, like a vocalist or something, that way you can keep doing guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm throwing my name in the hat. I'll help you guys with whatever you want. And I'm like, "Oh man, I appreciate that. Like, cool. I'll throw that up to the guys." Okay, cool. And then 1 month later, I get a call. It's like, "Hey man, so everyone's down with it. Come learn the songs."
Yeah.
All right, cool. And it was never, thankfully, because I love Urth Realm so much. It was never like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna fill in." It was like, "Hey, come learn the material." And I think I learned half their set, like in like a 2-hour sitting, I think.
Wow. Fuck.
or something like that somehow. Because oh my god, the Urth Realm material is It's hard.
Yeah, dude, it's hard. All right. Fuck yeah.
They're wrist burners. They're wrist
Yes.
burners, and especially on bass, like trying to keep up with those guys on bass. I mean, like I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but man, trying to keep up with those guys is very, very difficult.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
I think in total I got 10 hours of rehearsal time, and then I played my first show with them.
Wow. Damn. Nothing but drive, man. Drive and want. You want that thing, man. Hell yeah.
Somehow.
Hey, well, I like that. You got a way of just filling in the necessity. You know what I mean? And you kind of keep that in the band's kind of you keep that open invitation, at least with some of them, where it's like, I'll help you out until something better comes around. But you know what I mean? It'd be cool if you guys want to get down, let's get down.
Mm-hmm.
And so, fuck yeah, it's about time. It took a month, but finally, they came around, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Hell yeah,
thankfully.
thank you, Goo. Yeah, and it's been two good years already, right?
Yeah,
2 good years, man. Great, hell yeah. Well, thinking about Throat Locust, because we kind of mentioned them a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's it like drumming with those guys?
It's cool, man. It's a different. I've never been. I've always loved listening to like death metal and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a heavy death metal band. And it's nothing like Wrath.
No,
they're like night and day.
I mean, it's like Wrath has elements of any kind of like metal or hardcore you can think of.
Oh, absolutely.
There's something.
Yeah.
There's even pop influences in Wrath stuff. Like there's all sorts of influences. Like our Wrath rule of writing is as long as it sounds cool,
keep it.
It's fair game.
Yeah,
it's fair game. Work with it, and if we find a riff that we like and we can do 4 versions of the same riff, then if we can't pick one that's better than the other, then all 4 make it into the song.
There we go.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily like that with Throat. Throat is more, it's a style and that's it. I've never really played like an old school death metal type of sound,
right? That's what it is,
like what I do with them. So there was a slight learning curve because there is some stuff that the old drummer was like attempting to do that made no sense musically. So I had to kind of like they did give me freedom to kind of go back and fix a few things and like kind of throw my own twists and turns in there. Hopefully it does the songs justice. I've yet to hear anything negative. So
yeah.
So far, but it's fun being around those guys. Is you never ever know what's gonna happen. Like the only band Wrath is the only band I can compare them with as far as like being on the road, because like with Wrath, things happen like that are so random that you just like you can't make this stuff up.
That's right.
You just cannot make it up. There's like the stories that come with Wrath are just like, I'm sorry, what the fuck? Yes, exactly. And within man, I think I've been with Throat for probably about a year now. I've been with them for probably about a year now, and I already have like just the amount of stories I already have is just like, dude, book's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's right. Book's gonna be real good.
Book's gonna be good.
Tell me the current lineup of those guys.
The current lineup. So we've got we have Gilly 6IL, also from Swisher Coffin, on lead vocals.
Yes.
We got Eric Calvert on the guitar, Alexander Gregory on guitar. We got Adrian Cavazos on bass, and then I'm hitting things.
Yes. Fuck yeah. Love the lineup, dude. And that band right there, they really got a lot of momentum. That the name itself is a fucking killer ass name for a death metal band, and killer ass logo, great merchandising. I love the fucking Road Warriors and shit. Eric's got a good mind of just about everything, man. He's so well rounded, and everything he does. He's such a genius of the metal world and music in general. and I bet it's fun jamming with him.
Oh yeah, dude,
Right.
it's a fun time. Yeah, when they asked me to kind of jump on and stuff, it was I kind of like learned some stuff by myself for a week, and then it was me and him for
Yeah.
maybe a week or two before I jumped in with the rest of the guys, and it was
Oh, I like that.
yeah, just to like make sure because um Eric and Alex, they both they share the rhythm duties and stuff like that. But
Sure.
I base a lot of what I'm doing off of what Eric is doing.
Okay.
Especially because when you go back and you listen to the tracks, like you hear a lot of what Eric's doing, like some of the leads and stuff like that. So if I hear where he's at, then
Yeah.
I generally know where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, Adrian, Alex, and I all three of us, like we just lock in.
Yes. Kick ass.
Yeah.
Kick ass. Big shout out to Adrian. Love Adrian, man. I mean, he's seen me at my worst, and that's when I lost my dog, man. He works over here at the animal clinic, dude.
Yep.
It was like one of my worst days ever, and almost brings a tear to my eye right now. But he's such a great friend, man. We had to put my dog down that day.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like going to anywhere to go and get some help, and then thinking you might just get some medicine and prescribe this, prescribe that, but not coming out without your dog or your pet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody that was there for me, it was him. And man, it made the whole experience that much better. Just having a brother there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yes.
was that knew what you're going through, and that made it as comfortable as it could be.
Yes.
So big shout out to Adrian, man. You've got a huge heart, brother. I love you. And Gil and the guys from Desecrated Remains, that was a great band back then.
Oh yeah.
That was a great band back
Love
then.
those guys.
So Gilly's one of my favorite vocalists, man.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. So you guys are a fucking powerhouse. And I like the fact that none of the bands they're so different from each other. Each one of them so fucking brutal, but there's only one death metal band. There's only one metalcore band. You know what I mean? And so it's at the same time as being a musician that would have to share a band with you. I would be fucking jealous if I was in the second death metal band that you had. You know what I mean? Like, hey, who's gonna get all the good riffs, or hey, he's gonna be giving all the badass drum pieces to that band, this and that. So that's good that you haven't, double dipped, should I say?
It's kind of wild that something like that hasn't necessarily happened, even when we had our bands going. Because like there's a lot of bands that you and I are influenced by, like,
For
like
sure.
together. And then there was like, thinking back to Killamora and Deviled, man, there's a lot of bands that Izzy and I were both influenced by together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somehow like it still differentiated itself from everything else, still even to this day, I openly claim like Killamore is my favorite local band, like from around this area. Still to
Thank
this
you,
day,
brother. Yes.
and to get that call, was I've
that's right. You got my call.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and I've told you this story that, and the people probably haven't heard this, but it was like that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going to all the shows and stuff like that, and then one day I get a call and it's like, hey, we're gonna give it one last run. There's no tryout, spot's yours. It's like, as long as you want it. It's like, fuck yeah.
I want it, dude. And
Yeah.
you came in and you took care of business. It was really inspiring to have your heart, your energy in the room that loved the band already so much. And because I love it. I love the band like that. So already having somebody that's coming, bringing all that great positive energy and wanting to get it right, and the skill to get it right. Because doing our shit wasn't hard. I mean, was it easy? It was fucking hard. And it's not my design. It's not really technical, but it was always a lot of you used the word earlier. It's like a wrist breaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like groundbreaker. Just it's gonna work you.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and you can keep up or you can't. And you did not only keep up, you were right there. fucking bulldozing with Izzy
Yeah.
on all that shit, dude. It was awesome.
That's still, that's still one of the compliments that I hold highest as far as like things told to me, because I try to stay as like
You are humble.
I try to stay as humble as
You
I
are,
can,
bro.
as much as possible, because do not get me wrong, a big part of me, just being a musician, you've got an ego. Doesn't matter who you are,
You gotta have
if you're
confidence.
a musician
Yeah.
that plays on stage, you got to have some sort of an ego. And especially when I'm on stage, I've got a giant ego. Like, none of you can touch me. I don't give a fuck who you are. You cannot touch me when I'm on that
Yes.
stage.
Fuck yeah.
But as soon as I'm off of it, it's just like, hey man, appreciate that. And even if I know I played good and you tell me that, chances are I'm gonna be like, well, I mean, I'm trying, because I mean, that's all I can do. I can't really say that I played good. You have to say it. I can't, what I mean? Because that's not up to me. That's up to my audience.
I want you to make the call.
Yeah. Did I deliver or did I not? And one of the things I hold highest to me as far as compliments is Izzy telling me that, man, and this is no discredit to any past guitar players with Kill or anything, because I've seen them all.
That's
and
right.
They're all killer.
That's
every
right.
single one of them. And Izzy pulling me aside and be like, no one could ever really, really keep up with me, and you're the only one that can.
He can.
And it's like, bro, don't tell me that. I'll cry in your arms right now.
I know, right?
I'll cry in your arms right now.
Tell me about it.
Don't tell
Izzy
me that.
doesn't give out compliments, dude, unless you earn it. He's that kind of guy. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He ain't trying to be your best friend, but he will be your best friend. But if he comes with a compliment like that, it's because you fucking earned it and you wanted it. And that's the whole thing about it, man. And that's what made it so fulfilling to have you in the lineup, is that I know we're going to kill it, because that's the way, that's the way I approach it. We're going to go 110%. We're going to go out there and kick everybody's ass. Yeah. All right. We're playing with all our friends. I love all these guys, but we're going to fucking kick everybody's ass, because that's how we're going to do it. And that's just the mentality I think we all kind of carry out into all of our bands. You know what I mean? It's that balls out, fearless. Nobody can beat us right now. This is our stage. And, we're going to own it. We're going to own it. It's good times, times, man. And I love the fact that we shared that great energy together. And we brought it into Headbangers Pit. The jams we played in Headbangers Pit, those are big songs, man. Whether it's Chimera, whether it's Lamb of God, the fucking Judas Priest, Metallica. We play jams nobody plays. Yeah, nobody fucking plays them, dude. And big shout out to like the guys from San Antonio, Marcel, and the guys from Thrash 'Em All. They do some great fucking covers too. And if anybody could, maybe they could. Yeah, you know what I mean? Those guys are killers too, man. So fuck yeah. But we prided ourselves on doing those other songs that other bands weren't doing around here. You know what I mean? And we did them good, and it was so much fun doing it together. So let me keep on going right here. So in the realm of Throat Locust, that's going to be tomorrow night, right?
Just
Throat Red Rabbit.
Yeah. So Red Rabbit with Throat Locust, and then Thursday is Urth Realm and At My Signal.
You playing Friday in Austin?
And then Friday in Austin
with the Locust.
With Locust.
Yes, another little road trip right there.
Yep. And then head right back. Got fatherly duties.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, rock and roll with Urth Realm again.
Yes. All right. Okay, I want to check on time. We're good on time. Before I move forward, I want to see what I got here. I got some more. Okay, Ralph. Joe Daniel De La Rosa. Hey, what's up, JD in the house? The Boom. My guitar player for Annihilator. And Raphael says, hey, guys, I live in Phoenix with a big music scene. Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona.
Love
big
it out in
metal
Phoenix.
Music scene right there. But when I go home to Corpus, I will always think of music and so many talented bands back in the day and now. So much talent. Absolutely. Big talent down here. And JD, Sepultura Schizophrenia is a wrist breaker. Yes, it sure is.
Facts.
And Killamore had some kick-ass shows down here in the Rio Grande Valley. Yes. And with your band right then back in the day, Severance. Fuck yeah.
Good old
JD,
Severance,
thanks for watching
dude.
the show, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you Saturday for the Annihilator rehearsals. We're getting together again.
Severance. That was
You remember
my first
Jaime on
my
drums?
first, yes, love Jaime.
Yes.
My first run with Throat Locust was with Severance.
That's right,
Yep.
bro. No kidding.
Yep.
You did like maybe 4 or 5 dates.
We did.
That's right.
It was split up, but it was in total. It was like a 2-week run that was like split up dates. But yeah,
Very cool.
We went out with Severance, and that was a time.
Yes.
That was a
Fuck yeah.
time.
Hey, Rio Grande
time.
Valley kicks ass.
Yes.
They always kick ass. Okay, moving on. What I got here for us, I wanted to bring a shout out and some love to all the guys in Flesh Order. Finally, we're getting you guys back in Corpus. Fuck yes, it's gonna be bad. So, are you guys gonna be doing a little Texas run with the Flesh Order gang?
I believe so. I think we're doing a small run with Flesh Order. I want to say that there's still some more dates, but I'm not entirely sure.
I've seen a couple already.
Yeah, I think there's 2 dates out. I want to say we were working on a couple more, but I'm not entirely sure. When it comes to Throat Locust, I don't book anything. I just the offers get thrown to Eric. Eric hits us up, and if we're free, we're free. And
Then we take it from there.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like along for the ride, and I just, if we're all game, we're all game.
That's kind of good, man. That's one less thing you got to worry about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With you being involved with, 2 jobs, being a dad and Wrath,
Mhm.
it's nice that, it's like, you take care of that. You just tell me when we rehearse, what show we got. Give me plenty of notice, and we're good. We're gold.
Exactly. Yeah, because I handle the booking for like all the other projects I'm in. So it's just like, for someone else to take the load is like,
what a relief it is. Yes, dude. Hell yeah. All right. What I'm looking at now is getting a little off of music and talking a little bit about a movie that's coming up July 24th. What do we know about Deadpool and Wolverine coming out? Are you looking forward to that?
I am. Especially because I know it's July 26th.
26th. Okay. Yeah, all right.
and this is what those conversations were.
Okay, cool. Bring it.
Yeah, man. July 26th.
It's finally gonna hit, man.
Wolverine,
man, we've been waiting forever. I can't believe it. And you got to give it all prop to Ryan Reynolds for getting everything going and putting the muscle behind the muscle and getting Hugh off his ass to make all this shit happen, keeping the movie rated R. And I'm just surprised, as I see things coming together, like while I'm watching different clips coming up on YouTube about different Easter eggs and cameos that are coming up on how it seems that Ryan Reynolds seems to be a part of the mastermind, like Kevin Feige is, of where we're going to Secret Wars. It's like, man, and I didn't think he knew that much about Deadpool, and I underestimated him because it seems like he's just like on the same wavelength with Kevin to get there.
Yeah, I based on some of the stuff that I've read, when it came to the first Deadpool, he was basically like the only option. And even in the comic books, like there's a part, I don't remember which one it is, but there's a Deadpool comic where it literally says, it describes Deadpool as a Ryan Reynolds type.
Wow, dude.
So it's like,
okay,
dude, there's no other option,
Easy to
so for that
cast
for that first movie, like Ryan Reynolds wrote a big part of all 3 of the movies and would consistently just like comic books over and over and over and over and over again, all the Deadpool stuff to like draw the inspiration and like be as close to that as possible, and to like try and like draw parts of different areas and stuff. So I do know that what I've read for Deadpool and Wolverine is that it is part of the MCU.
Yes.
So it is officially part of the MCU. It is going to be dealing with the multiverse.
Yeah.
And other than some of the mutant stuff that has already been introduced to where it's like it's official, like this is going to be like, oh, it's official. Like, like there are mutants.
For real.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And there are rumors of several people coming back.
Yeah.
And, assuming the roles.
I know exactly
So,
the old rules exactly.
Yes. Yes.
So give me a handful. Of course, we're gonna get some Beast. We got to get some Professor X.
we're gonna get some
Are we
Beast.
gonna get Rogue? Think so.
That's one of the names that I saw. I saw that that's supposed to happen. I saw that. I'm blanking on her actual name, but we're gonna get Jean Grey.
Yes.
From what I'm reading, we're getting Jean Grey.
It's gonna be like the Dark Phoenix Jean Grey,
or
is it gonna be like the other one?
I would say that that's kind of up in the air because I mean, there's a
Depends
lot of,
on what multiverse, right?
There's a lot of Jean Grey
Could be
in
both.
all of the old X-Men movies, So I mean,
Yeah.
who knows what part of the timeline they'll go to? I guess that's.
I wonder if we'll get the old Cyclops.
We're probably,
what's his name? Stedman.
I heard he's coming back as well, or at least that's what I read. I read that he's coming back as well. And a lot of these people, I mean, it might just be like a 2-second cameo.
It
who
could
knows?
be right
Because
now
we don't know what part of the timeline he's going to.
Mhm.
All from what I understand is it's basically he gets offered a hitman role to go and like basically kill off, almost like he's doing the Deadpool verse Marvel
right
storyline,
like he ends the Marvel universe.
Yeah, so it's like he's killing off like just all these different things. So
yeah. Who's the villain? The bald, is it a girl or a guy? It looks like, it seems like there's a scene, a real quick scene where like Wolverine is gonna take on this villain, a bald villain, and all of a sudden she just puts her hands down and his claws go instantly, like she can control the titanium claws that he's got.
Yeah.
Looks like a girl.
I'm not entirely sure. It could be. I know that there's different universes. I'm not mistaken, where there's like Magneto and all them are like not them.
I can't wait, man. I've seen the character. I don't know. They haven't mentioned it in any of the videos that I've kind of come across. But what do you think about some of those the miniseries that have come before that, like She-Hulk or like Loki 2?
I've enjoyed. Oh man, especially the second Loki season. Oh my god,
that was far out. That was awesome.
So good.
It was
so good.
Yes.
I've seen every single time a series comes out. I'm always reading these things of like people just like shitting on them, and like
yeah, I know.
It's always because they always come out like I'm at work, so I can't watch it like right when it comes out or anything. You know what I mean? So once I get home, I go and then I start binging, and like, man, I've loved everything that's come out. Like I understand where someone who's a fan of these kind of things would be like, well, that's not how the comics go. But you gotta understand there are some things that you just can't do that are in the comics. They just will not translate correctly. So you got to find different ways to make those things happen and make different. I mean, you think about like someone like Captain America, who's he's been around for almost 100 years. You know what I mean? So like you're not gonna fit all that in 2.5 hours.
I know, man. It's a heartbreaker.
So
yeah. Good point.
So what they're doing with a lot of these characters, I think it's fantastic, and I think it's great.
Yes.
So I mean, I haven't seen anything that I haven't really disliked.
Me too. Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, there's more favorites and stuff, but
did you see Madam Web?
I did. I
saw like maybe the first half hour, and I really didn't get into like the good stuff. I saw, basically that the story was kind of setting her up.
Yeah, it's kind of ultimately, I think that it was a movie that probably didn't really even need to happen. It really didn't do much. I did not think it was a bad movie. I did not, as a fan of like the whole Spider-Man universe,
That's why I like
the Spider-Verse and stuff. It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
I think they just, I don't know if it's just not having the resources or the correct writers.
Mm-hmm.
But it very much seemed like if they had a better budget, if they had maybe a little bit better writing or something, just like
could have made a good movie great.
Some of the cuts and stuff like that, like some of the editing and stuff. I feel like it didn't it didn't translate the way that they were probably hoping. So
Yeah.
I did not think it was a bad movie. I don't think it was pure shit like a lot of people think it is, but
I didn't get that impression
yeah,
either. I still want to finish watching
yeah,
it. I thought it was cool.
By no means is that me saying that it's a great top tier movie, but let me put it's better than the Eternals. So
Okay,
there's that.
That sets a bar for you right there.
There's that.
I like that, man. So let me also ask you about this. Do you feel like Doctor Doom is going to be the main villain coming up in Secret Wars?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I feel like that,
Yeah.
especially after the BS that the Kang Dynasty, how
Mhm.
that kind of fell through because what's his name got in all that trouble on the outside.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
I've read I don't know how far back this is, probably a couple weeks ago, but I read that they are contemplating just recasting the Kang role.
Yeah. I figured they would.
Or just like scrapping it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Recasting is going to be super, super difficult because I know that Jonathan Majors got into some major trouble.
Yeah, right. That's a good one.
I know that he got into some major trouble.
But I think they could do it.
No, I think they could. I think they possibly could. I personally would love to still see him in the role.
Sure.
I know that. I mean,
get over it,
what
Disney.
What he got in trouble for is not okay. But there were different reports that I read on it that were like, I mean, I wasn't there. I can't make a judgment call on that. I don't know who's right, who's wrong. I don't know. But from what I read, it very much seemed like him and the other person were both in the wrong.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't have happened.
Right. It shouldn't happen. Exactly.
Plain and simple shouldn't have happened. So with that said, Jonathan Majors absolutely killed it as Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, he did.
And it is going to be absolutely difficult to recast if that's what they're going to do.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if they continue, I still regardless, I think they're going to go with Dr.
And I heard, and you might have already known about this casting for Dr. Doom, Liam Neeson.
I have not heard that.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But we'll see. And this was about 2-3 weeks ago. But I could see that. You're not going to see too much of Dr. Doom anyway because of the costume and stuff. No. But I could hear the voice. He's a tall guy already. Mm-hmm. I could see it. I could see it. And what about Fantastic Four? You ready to see them come back?
I'm stoked.
It's
for
gonna
it.
be awesome, dude.
I don't know too much about the cast that they have. I don't have too much.
They got that one guy that plays everybody. I guess the one I'm thinking about is he plays the bad guy in the Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
He comes out of Narcos.
Yeah. Why am I blanking on his name?
I know.
No, I know exactly.
He's huge. But yeah, he's supposed to be Reed Richards.
Yeah, I wasn't too stoked on that casting just because I think it's
it seems like they're just selling tickets by getting him because he already is a draw.
It's almost like an overexposure type thing, but I didn't think that it was like, I don't know. He doesn't have the look for me, I guess. He's absolutely got the acting chops.
Absolutely. He can do anything,
but
yes.
I'm like the look wise and stuff like that. Like I don't know. I'm not too sure about that.
I would have rather had fucking the guy playing Jack Ryan.
John Krasinski. Yeah. It was a good choice.
It was a good one, man. Why'd they put him and kill him off so soon? But who knows? Maybe.
Well, I mean, that's a different universe.
It's true.
That was a different universe, but they did that as a fan casting. They did that as fan service. So
we love him, man. The Office, his own movies that he's done, The Quiet Place.
Oh my God.
Amazing, dude.
The new one that's coming out too.
Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. Speaking of, before we hit Draw the Line, we're going to have to speed through Draw the Line tonight. Yeah. But I want to find this out real quick. Horror movies. What slasher would you love to get murdered by?
You know what? I'm going to go straight with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
That's my favorite horror series of all time.
He's so badass.
It's creative.
Yes.
The things they do in those movies are creative. So I bring it.
That's a good one. That is such a good one. Freddie, love Freddie. And speaking of, I hear that they got a new show coming out called Fred.
I
and
heard
it's
that.
Either on Netflix or Prime.
I heard that.
That's gonna be pretty cool. It's probably gonna be like an origin story.
I love
It
that series.
It probably could be pretty sick too.
Yeah,
because
I love that series a lot. So I'm a pretty critical person. So
I don't know who's gonna play it, but that should be. I can't wait for that.
Better not disappoint.
That's right. Don't disappoint with that one, or we're all gonna have some fucking nightmares. So hidden draw the line tonight. I got 6 questions real quick, and we got 6 minutes.
Perfect.
All right. So let's not delve too much into the why, but definitely want to hit the meat. All right. So starting from the top, draw the line. I want to know who you like out of these 2 bands. If they were both playing in town, or if you had to pick your band opening up for one of these 2 bands, as we're going through these, who would you pick between Slaughter to Prevail and Upon a Burning Body?
Upon a Burning Body.
Hey, good one. Texas guys.
Yeah.
And always kill it. Great presence on stage. Great presence. And cool guys. I was, very approachable. You know what I mean? Very approachable.
Very. I've got Ruben's Kemper stuff on my Kemper. He knows about that too. I had a whole conversation with him. But
yeah. Very cool. Met Ruben too. Next one. Cradle of Filth versus Dimmu Borgir.
Cradle of Filth.
Cradle.
Yeah, huge Cradle guy.
What's your favorite Cradle album?
My favorite Cradle album? You know what? That's a really good question. I've been tripping over the last 3 records that they've put out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I definitely love everything like newer more than any of their old material.
He keeps getting better. Danny.
Good. It's good.
And he's always got the best players all around him.
Yes.
This
last record, when people say like, oh, I haven't heard it, I just kind of say it's as if Cannibal Corpse wrote a black metal record.
Ooh, shit. Great way of putting it out there.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to listen to that new Cradle of Filth right there. Okay, next one. Oh, yeah. Machine Head versus Killswitch Engage.
Ooh, that's cutting me in the heart right there.
They're both, I know, and I wanted to cut one. So they're both playing in town. They're like a Josh Ratz can open them either for Killswitch or Machine Head. Where you want to be? Holy smoke.
Yeah, no, that's good. Both of those bands mean a crap ton to me. I'm gonna put it as if I get to play music with Machine Head, then I'll go that way. But if I get to do some vocals, then I'll go Killswitch.
Oh, okay.
I gotta justify it.
Okay. I'll take that. That's a good way of putting it right there. Okay. Musically, guitar wise, if you had to go on there and drop down onto the Locust or Imperium, you're going to kill it with a Rob. Mm-hmm. If you got to go up there and sing Rosa Sharon, The Curse, you're up there with Jesse.
Yeah. If I absolutely have to choose, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Killswitch. If I absolutely hands down have to choose something, just because I've loved Killswitch a bit longer than Machine Head, and everything. I've never been like a suicidal person or anything like that by any means, but the amount of times that Jesse Leach has helped me in my own personal life is insurmountable. So.
Excellent. Love you, Jesse. Yeah. You're changing lives out there. Hell yeah, saving lives. Thank you. Okay. Iron Maiden versus Metallica.
Iron Maiden.
Okay. Good. Unearth versus All That Remains.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And real quick, I wanted to mention Ken Susie's got his face tattooed in some guy's ass. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember that old headbangers ball where they did that? Fucking crazy, right? He's like this crazy big old smile. Right. Man. Okay. All That Remains are Unearth.
Man, that's another crazy one because it's almost like the same thing with the Machine Head and Killswitch. Musically, Unearth has gotten me. Vocally, All That Remains has gotten me.
Trevor, killer on vocals.
Jeez. I'm gonna go Unearth. I'm gonna go on Earth because musically they have there's more of an influence as to All That Remains is more vocally influenced.
Sure.
Musically as well, but as far as like with the Kemper and like a lot of tone stuff that I do and stuff like that, it's I've taken a lot from Ken Susie for sure. So
love it. And Ken's with As I Lay Dying now, so fuck yeah, we got to check them out. Last but not least, okay, I'm gonna make it a quick one. Out of these 3 albums, you got to pick your favorite.
Okay.
Cheshire Cats, Dude Ranch, and Enema of the State.
From Blink-182.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Enema of the State.
Enemy of the State.
Enema of the State. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And real quick, Super Mario Brothers versus Mario Party.
Jeez. You know what? Wrath Boys, fuck all of you. We're doing Mario Party. All of them 50 turns.
Hey, I love it. Guys, this is going to be a wrap, all right? Thank you so much for tuning into the Tony Gomez Show. All you guys have been joining us here in the studio. I appreciate all the questions. JD, Raphael, all of you guys. Thank you so much. Josh, thanks for joining me tonight, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to get you back in here, all right?
Of course, y'all let him know when to get me back. We'll do it ASAP.
Hell yeah. Love you guys. We'll see you at the next show.